Hey, welcome to Dishin with Debbie. And I thought with football season in high gear and everybody doing tailgating or just watching at home for a game party, we need to do some food that's appropriate for that. So in our house, it's always chili, spicy chili. But I am not allowed to make it. I don't understand that, but I'll roll with it. So today we have a special guest.
That's right, special guest, me, Charlie. She's not allowed to make chili in this house. My chili is hot, it's delicious, it's magnificent, and it's also really simple. And it starts with onions. No good chili does not have a good onion base. So you get the onions in your skillet. As I spill some on the floor, no big deal.
Oh my gosh, the dog's getting the onions. The onions are bad.
What, like his breath could get worse? Please.
I think they're bad for him.
Oh, please. So get some onions in there, get a little butter in there. Just you want to caramelize them. You want them to get that really soft, almost golden brown look. And it takes a little bit, and we're going to add to the onions too in just a sec. All right, so we got our onions. They're off to a good start. If you can come in here, you can see how they're already starting to turn sort of that yellow color. And this is where it gets spicy because I like jalapenos in my chili. I like the flavor of them. So I like to finish off the caramelizing of the onions with jalapenos, and I don't care if I get some seeds in there, and also just a little bit of jalapeno juice.
Ooh, I think that's sizzle.
Oh, that's good
what
stuff.
It's going to do to your inside.
That's right. It's going to haunt you for a while, but it's going to be so good with each and every taste. All right, so we're going to continue doing this, and once everything is good and caramelized and ready to go, we'll move on to the next step. All right, if you come in and look at the skillet now, we've got things good and golden brown, and those jalapenos are chopped up with the onions.
It's making me cough.
Oh, stop. And now we go ahead and brown our meat. Now, I use a pound of ground meat, ground beef. Now, sometimes I will use a half pound of beef and a half pound of pork sausage. Either way, it's great. But I go ahead and brown the ground meat with the onions and the jalapenos, get all of that spicy goodness just sort of infused into the meat.
So what comes next?
Well, we have to brown the meat. What part of this are you missing?
I'm sorry, I'm coughing from the fumes. Okay, we'll be right back.
All right, I've taken it off the heat so that you can see, okay, our meat is brown, still got our jalapenos and our onions in here. And this is my favorite part of cooking the chili because now it becomes a dump and stir process. Got a can of seasoned tomato sauce for chili. This is something new. You could get tomatoes, diced tomatoes for chili, but our son hates the texture of diced tomatoes, but he loves tomato sauce. So thank you, Hunts, for coming up with this free plug for Hunts. So we got this seasoned tomato sauce for chili. We just dump that in there. Perfect. Beans can be a bone of contention for people when it comes to chili. I know my mother likes to use kidney beans. I like chili beans, and Bush's chili beans, you can get them in all sorts of different heat. You can get mild, no heat at all. You can get medium, you can get hot. I think what'd you get? You got medium for this. So we dump that in there. And notice I'm not straining anything. Just dump everything in. All right, now I could get fancy like the Food Network and measure out all the different seasonings, or actually Debbie would measure out all the seasonings to make homemade chili stuff, but why do that? Why go to the trouble? McCormick's or whoever you like has great chili seasonings, and McCormick's has a good Tex-Mex blend. So I go ahead and just pour that in there on top of the beans and the tomato seasoning. And now here comes the key ingredient. Beer. The packet says add water. I say add beer, and there's a reason why. And also, only cook with beer that you would drink. If you don't drink the beer, then don't use the beer in your recipe.
You've heard those chefy chef wine people say that.
Well, actually, who I heard say it first was that old Cajun chef, Justin Wilson. And you could barely understand the guy, but whenever he cooked with wine, he said, I will cook with no wine, I won't drink. So, Bud Light. And what I do is I just fill it up, the packet that I had the chili seasoning in, I just fill that up with the beer and then pour it in, and that leaves me a sip or two while I finish cooking. All right, I put this back on the heat, and then you just stir it up. Stir it up, get it all good and blended and mixed in there. I may add some more beer or maybe a touch of water, but probably,
If there's any left.
yeah, just add some more beer. And you just want to put it on a simmer, a low or a medium simmer, and keep stirring periodically until it gets to the consistency you want, and then we will be good to go here in just a few minutes. All right, we have this about to the consistency that we like. I don't like too thick a chili, but I don't like too runny of a soup for chili, so this is about right for me. Just to let you know, I added maybe a little drop or two more of beer throughout the stirring process and the simmering process. I never let it sit on the stove for longer than 10 or 15 minutes. That's good to go for me, and mostly because I'm ready to dive in at that point. And I mentioned earlier that there was a reason for the beer. There's something about the body of beer and what it makes it up that gives the chili just that little something extra that I really can't describe. But if I have chili made with water as opposed to chili made with beer, the one with beer is just better. That's it. That's the bottom line. So we got things good and stirred. We got things to the consistency that I want. It is time to serve this puppy up. All right, look at that bubbling goodness. It is ready to serve. It is chili time in the Charlie and Debbie household. A few years ago, we got these Crocs. Love these Crocs just because they're cool looking and they're great for chili and soups. So we just ladle some out here.
And this stuff can be made ahead of time and it gets better the next day even. Just percolates.
Oh, and it gets hotter. The longer it gets to ferment, the hotter it gets. Got some toppings here. Got some grated cheese. I think you got to have grated cheese on chili, and it gets good and melted in there, so that's good stuff.
And sometimes I put sour cream just to cool it off.
And then we've got, I could do regular saltines, but I picked up some oyster crackers. They're good.
Cornbread's good too.
Cornbread is great in there. And so there you go. Look at how wonderful looking that is. And how is it? Well, the ultimate test is next. Okay, so this is quite the role reversal. I'm the one doing the cooking, and she's the one getting to do the eating. Usually I'm the one who gets to eat.
Look at the cheese pull.
Look at her happiness. She's never this happy with anything I do, but she loves my chili.
Okay, chili early in the morning. This is really good. Okay,
Yeah, full disclosure, we're filming this at breakfast time.
Oh my goodness. It's hot, but it's really good. So I think, yeah, this is as good as it always is. So.
Now, don't be scared off by the heat. You cannot add the jalapenos and you can do all that. I know, but you're going to scare people. They think that I'm trying to poison you.
Well, we'll have to see. No, it really is good. That's really not as hot as sometimes it is, but tomorrow it probably will be. It's fantastic.